Good evening, everybody. I'm Angela Lansbury. Angela Lansbury. This is Poetry by Angela Lansbury. I have an opening poem. I turn on the Zoom, and what do I see? Lots of funny faces looking at me. Some sit in smart suits, and some look quite odd, but they all stare at me as if I'm a god. Some are my old friends, and some must be new, and some look awfully familiar, but frankly, I haven't a clue. Some people are hot, and some people are cold, and some are wide-eyed and young, and some are wrinkled and grey and old, and some sit back shy, and some are bright and bold, and when I ask, they wave their hands. There's one who often speaks upside down, and one has got white teeth which glow in the dark, and one has a dog wearing a top hat, and one's marching around a pretty park. One's a poetess in sparkling pink, and one strokes his white divided beard, and one is pouring a frothy drink. But they're not as weird as I feared. I do hope, my darlings, I've caused no offence. I swear, I didn't mean to swear. That's not what I meant. That was not my intent. Well, some like swimming and some like slimming, and some smile when losing and some smile when winning. I may not be perfect, but I have a good plan. I know what to do when things go wrong. I'll just change the subject as fast as I can. Now, some are warm and some are cool, and some are wise and some are fools. And the clock is ticking. I must read something new. I've lots to say and lots to do. But you may be wondering where we're going, but until I tell you, even I don't know. I've no way of knowing. My words are like balloons. My words are like bubbles. We're carried away and forget all our troubles. Words are like rivers flowing, coming and going. There's so much to do as I reach out to you. I won't give you fears. I won't give you tears. I'll just collect laughter I've heard through the years. Well, I must move on. Soon we'll all be gone in a little while. So I'll just leave a big smile. Now, what I propose to do is to read long poems alternating with short poems. So I have a short poem from the first poetry book I wrote called Angela's Alarming Animal Poems, which is for school children. And it was to teach them about all the aspects of different animals, most of which I didn't know myself. So here's the camel. The camel. The cross old camel got the hump because it had 2 fatty lumps. Yes, it carried twice as many as the 1 hump dromedary. No wonder it fell down in the dumps. The camel reaches 6'1", and the humps make it 7'1". The horse can't bear the camel's smell. In old-time wars, the camels did well. The camels scattered the horses, so if you'd had a camel, you'd won. A camel gives us milk and meat, and its dung feeds fires so you can eat. It's also a beast of burden. You can't park one in London, but a zoo camel ride's a treat. Now, let's go on to something a little longer. Birthday couplets, a bit like Shakespeare's couplets. Birthday couplets. When you reach the age of 1, start exploring the world, such fun. First you step, then fall, then run. The age of 1 is ever such fun. When you reach the age of 2, you find there's even more to do. Each exciting toy is new when you reach the age of 2. When you reach the age of 3, you climb cot sides and then you run free. There's much more to explore and see when you reach the age of 3. When you reach the age of 4, you run around exploring more. You'd better lock that big front door when your grandchildren reach the age of 4. When you reach the age of 5, it's so good to be alive. You've survived, so now you'll thrive when you reach the age of 5. When you reach the age of 6, you pick up sticks, you flail and fix, you build big brick towers of bricks. When you reach the age of 6, when you reach the age of 7, you're off to school and your parents are in heaven. You wish that you were big like 11 when you reach the age of 7. When you reach the age of 8, you can bake or simply buy a cake. How long will a bike ride take? When you reach the age of 8, when you reach the age of 9, still growing fast, but doing fine, you collect stamps and you find a fishing line. When you reach the age of 9, when you reach the age of 10, you'll soon mature, they say, but who knows when. Grow up, out, count years again when you reach the age of 10. When you reach the age of 11, you're too big for kids of 7. Big school looks just like heaven when you hit the grand old age of 11. When you reach the age of 12, you start to study, dive and delve, and you read strange books hidden on the top shelves. When you reach the age of 12, when you reach the age of 13, then you find your friends start flirting. When you've reached the age of 13, you start changing at the age of 13. When you reach the age of 14, some big kids have started courting. Tut tut. Naughty, naughty, naught teen. When you reach the age of 14. When you reach the age of 15, more selective, you start sifting. Seek your clique, your king and queen, when you reach the age of 15. When they say you're sweet 16, in some states, you can marry. Got exams, so what's the hurry? When they say you're sweet 16, when they say you're 17, you think you're a clever teen, but you're still an in-between when they say you're 17. In some ways, adult at 18. In some places you can drink, go to uni, think and blink. Gangs in adult jails are 18. When you reach the age of 19, you're a fine team on the screen. Football, six-pack, makes the girls scream. When you reach the age of 19. When they say, now you're 20, yes, my dear, you've seen plenty. Feel the breeze, sail the seas. When they say, now you're 20. But when you're over 21, don't admit to what you've done, or they'll try to stop your fun when you reach over 21. Whatever you do or try every year, a year flies by in the blinking of an eye. Whatever you do or try, 30, 40. Oh no, where did all my young days go? Birthdays, I don't want to know. I'm 21 again, ho ho. When they say now you're 50, nod, shrug, just forget to count. Youngsters ask, say, guess my age. Deduct a decade, a small amount. When your child has a baby, birthday cycles start once more. You're ahead of everyone. Yes, you've seen it all before. May you live to be 100. Healthy, wealthy, hale and hearty. I too want to reach 100. Let's have a joint birthday party. This poem took me ages and ages. For you, I filled 7 pages. I wrote it in slow stages. Send me chocolates, not taxed wages. That was the ages. People seem to like that one. Now we'll go for something a little shorter. From Angela's alarming animals again, the Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster. The monster lives in Scotland. He's been seen many times. He's often caught on camera, but never by fishing lines. The Navy could not find a trace. Dear Nessie wouldn't be hurried. Attempts to prove Nessie wasn't there didn't get his museum worried. Americans won't be outdone. They think they too ought to have one. Tourist boards make no mistake and find nothing on the hill or the lake. In America, natives saw an Opapogo. They've a book and a film, but no photo. People see creatures worldwide all the time. Could it be otters swimming in lines? Shops and visitors have great times leaping from cars, snapping the gars. Ness's cousin's an American, but maybe the fisherman saw a sturgeon. So there's the truth about the non-existent Loch Ness Monster. Now, babies, back to babies. I have a granddaughter, so I'm a bit into babies now. New babies. Its 2 cool blue eyes could be baby blue. Its heart-shaped mouth could be like a mini-me. Its nose or complexion could come from you. A chance to renew or start something new. It could copy us both, or one we don't know. Doesn't matter if we don't have a clue, so long as we have a live baby to show. 10 friends from my antenatal class, 10 gave birth, each one a winner. Everybody's baby's growing so fast. We invited the nearest couple to dinner. She brought us a gift, but here's what she said. You've a lovely baby. You're a great mother. Ours was stillborn. That means born dead. Thanks. But I'm pregnant. I'm having another. True story. Now, I shall read you one of my favorites. It's from Poetry Workshop Workbook, and it's a villanelle. A villanelle has 17 lines. Line 1 is repeated as lines 6, 12, and 18, and line 3 is repeated as 9, 15, and 19. Gosh, that sounds complicated, doesn't it? That's what I thought. So at the back of the book, I have a 4-page list of a poet's dictionary in which I've written the rhyming schemes of all sorts of types of poem. Anyway, to demonstrate it, a fun kind of poem is a villanelle with 3 lines. This one was written about to my husband. Anyway, it's called The Mess. I wonder why I'm in such stress. I've such a lot of bills to pay. I wonder why I'm in a mess. I always try to do my best, but cannot find the words to say. I wonder why I'm in such stress. Procrastination, I confess, is how I like to pass my day. I wonder why I'm in a mess. I struggle through life more or less. I always take the easy way. I wonder why I'm in such stress. I wish I were neat, I confess, but I just wasn't made that way. I wonder why I'm in a mess. You can tell by my style of dress. I never put a thing away. I wonder why I'm in such stress. I wonder why I'm in a mess. Now a shorter one, An Optician. This is from Writing Poetry for Fun, and it's about my late father. The Optician. He looks into my two blue eyes. I hope you will see no surprise. My dad didn't need to test patients' sight. When they walked in, he guessed he was always right. The young came in because of long sight. The middle-aged complained of short sight. Only once was he wrong, when a young mother had one eye different from the other. Now, I would like to read you one of my favorites. It's a parody of a poem you might have heard of called My Grandfather's Clock. My Grandfather's Clock was written back in 1876. Mine was written recently, and it's called My Grandmother's Clock. You all know the story of Grandfather's clock, how it wouldn't go when he died. It just took umbrage and stopped. I've always wondered why, but I bet they never looked inside. Yes, I can guess why it stopped. Maybe a guess, but not a lie. But to say what I suspect is no crime. It could happen again any time. Well, I bought a clock, very cheap. It had stopped. The one thing an old man left behind. And all it needed was a good old wind. For the old man was blind, but he had a good sense of time, the same as yours and mine. Don't tell me a clock has a mind. He left behind a lazy family whose job was the winding, but they never could agree. Always you, yes, you, and never me. The grandsons were lazy and never stayed at home, drove their parents quite crazy because no work got done. As for the son, clocks weren't his thing, and all the wife cared about was her ring. And the clock was dusty and old, and after he died, it never went again until it was sold. Now it stands in my hall, looking grand against the wall. I give it attention and it does ticky-tock. Please wipe its face. It's such a lovely old clock. And I hope when I'm gone, you will all sing my song. I'm nearly always right and I'm very nearly never wrong. If you want to hear a sound, clocks must be wound. For a clock, like a wife, can lead a long and happy life. Clocks should be wound right to give a good sound right. They rock like a heartbeat, all your life neat and sweet. I've a house full of clocks. They all go ticky-tock. Some are fast, others are slow. So they all tell different times, just what you want to know. Well, there you hear the chimes, though you never know the time. And my family all complain. But when I'm dead, you'll not hear a single chime again. When I'm gone, they will sell all my clocks and the cute little broken music box. But recycling's the fashion now, so I hope they'll all be restored somehow. But I'll make sure the clock song never stops. It is played in all the best music shops. Tickety-tock, tickety-tock, I'll recycle the song of the clock. Yes, I'll make sure my sweet song never stops, but is played in all the best music shops. Tickety-tock, tickety-tock, I'll recycle the song as Granny's lock-up clock. So that was my parody, Grandfather's Clock. Now here's something a bit grim. Pupil. Well, perhaps not so grim unless you're a teacher, a short one. Pupil. I tried to teach East End girls spelling, but with one girl I wasn't selling. I asked her, dear, what does your mum do? She said, miss, you don't have a clue. Mum earns money, her clothes are neat, but she don't need spelling to walk the street. True story. When I was a student teacher, I was quite shattered by that one. Now, let's pick a poem at random. Doctors. I always thought that doctors had high status and pay, so I was very surprised to hear my mother-in-law say, everyone wants the best for their son. Most say, be a doctor, but I'm not one. A doctor is busy and often away, and I want my son home at the end of the day. No accounting for taste. Now, homework. How can you help the human race repeat everything in its place? First things first, please help yourself. Keep vital homework on the top right, top shelf. Sit down at 5, open your book. What is the homework? Take a look. Clear the desk, sit comfortably. And then check you've paper and pen. Read out the homework, have a think, make some notes in pencil and ink. See if you can make it fun. Then suddenly your homework's done. Now, I've written a book, I've written a story especially for you. It's called Hoarding the Past. If your parents were really poor and lived through World War II or hard knocks, you're bound to save a thing or two, including storing single socks. You can't blame me, we're all the same. Hoarding is common, we all know. Storing memories is the game. When people die, you don't let go. We all hang on, don't go with the flow. Cling on to afterlife and hope. Centuries of cemeteries show, then cremations wiped like mental soap. Now they're digging up ancient bones. They're erasing even the modern gravestones. What can we do? What can we do to hold on to scraps of me and you? To strike out mental stress and fog, to clear away clutter and stress. Rent a grandma, rent a grandchild, rent a dog, rent a boyfriend, rent a wedding dress. You rent a house, a hotel room, a car. The modern way to not forget. You rent a flat, you rent a hat. But your photos flood the internet. The internet, we search for hours, crossing international borders. Find a grave on the internet, send virtual flowers, and that's the new way to find immortality, my dear hoarders. Now we're going to go back to my childhood. The little child waving. A little child, this is me, at the guest house window waved at the passing morning train. All the passengers smiled as they waved back, so she waved back again and again. She waved and dozens of people waved back, clapping hands like leaves on a tree. How do I know that? Because I was there. That smiling, waving girl was me. I waved and waved and waved and waved to people I had never met. Maybe they remember now. Well, I cannot forget. I'm happy again. I'm happy again, thinking of a little girl waving at a train. I hope that makes you happy. Now, creating a poem. Creating a poem. I woke creative in the night beside my bed, paper and pen. I scribbled till I saw daylight, but could not get to sleep again. Count each line has 8 syllables. Give each strong beat a pencil tick. Add a spicy simile. I frown. Gingerbread house built from word bricks. I circled all the simple rhymes and left gaps between each 4-line verse. I replaced long words which sounded strange, unzipped my brain, and I spent my word purse. I cut each poem to fit 1 page, enough poems to fill a book. Then I read aloud on a Zoom stage, and I scanned strangers' faces like a cook. I found a small, like-minded crowd, 30 leader beards, all ages, 2 minutes, each one read aloud, showed slides of illustrated pages. Clap when each pair of poem ends, and chat, type 1 warm word of praise. Take home rewards for your hard work. Each poem, like shared cake, made friends. Now, back to poetry workbook and the villanelle. Here's fun for my husband again. I wish that I could be like you. Damn, I've got so much to do. How am I going to do it all? I wish that I could be like you. I tried to see things from your view. Then life went drive me up the wall. Damn, I've got so much to do. You say it's my fault. That is true. Cinderella went to the ball, but I've got too much to do. I feel like I've got the flu. Now, where's that list? I can't recall. I wish that I could be like you. I hope they aren't going to sue. Break down each task to steps quite small. I wish that I could be like you. Just think like you and see it through. Just take a breath, and then sit tall. Damn, I've got so much to do. I wish that I could be like you. Here's another villanelle. I wish I was standing fighting instead of just sitting writing. I wish I was standing fighting, actions better than just thinking. Slumped here, sitting writing. Although my wit can be biting, I spend too much time on drinking instead of here sitting writing. Open windows, fix the lighting. Simply dozing, sitting blinking, instead of being sitting writing. Think of readers I'm delighting. Think of people I am linking. Yes, I'm useful, sitting writing. There must be life more exciting. Need some coffee, mood is sinking. Cut out words which are inciting. Think who I could be inviting out to dinner, sitting winking. Wish I were standing fighting instead of here, sitting writing. Well, the villanelles are all in my poetry workshop workbook, and we'll be putting the links in YouTube. That's from lulu.com. Writing Poetry for Fun is also from lulu.com. And Improve Your English, you will find on Amazon, and I have chapters in my good friend Carolyn's books, the And Us series. Please join me on Facebook on my rhyming poetry page or any of my pages. Thank you so much for listening. Any feedback, only good feedback, would be welcome. But I'll read the rest as well. I promise. Back to our esteemed leader.